and I am the marketing director at Tetragen USA. And I am joined today by Dr. Obin, who is one of the researchers who did some of the clinical studies for our ingredients. Hello, Dr. Obin. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, John. Nice to be with you.
I understand you're involved with COVID-19 and you're working on the response over there in Cameroon. And, I know your time is very limited, so I'm going to be very brief so that you can do the important work that you're doing, okay?
Not a problem.
Okay. Tetragen is designed to basically help people lose weight by rebalancing their metabolic hormones. Some people don't quite understand what that means, and I was hoping you could help us understand this a little better. One of the specific metabolic hormones that Tetragen is designed to rebalance is leptin. I was just hoping you could briefly describe what leptin is and what role it plays in regulating someone's weight.
Right. Okay, John, thanks. Leptin is a substance that's produced by the adipose tissue. Obviously, everybody has adipose tissues in their bodies, but, fat people have more adipose tissue. And that is actually fat cells. And leptin is actually produced by those fat cells. People will generally refer to leptin as a hormone, but I call it just a substance. I think for the description, I'll just say a substance produced by the adipose tissue. And what it basically does is to tell the brain that, see, you have to stop eating. So it is actually produced by the adipose tissue, and it gets into general circulation and it gets to the brain where there are receptors for leptin. Once it hits those receptors, then the signal gets across to say that you should stop eating. So basically that's what leptin does.
Okay. Now, from what I understand, one of the reasons why so many people gain weight and have trouble losing weight is a condition known as leptin resistance. Can you explain exactly what leptin resistance is and why it makes it so hard to lose weight and keep it off?
Okay, when you have people who are overweight and obese, they have a lot of fat cells in their bodies. What that means is that those fat cells are going to keep on sending out leptin at such a level that the brain can no longer effectively use that signal to stop eating. So the brain becomes what you can say the brain is resistant to the leptin action. Simply put, that is what leptin resistance is. The brain's inability to dissect and use that information sent out to tell the person to stop eating. Once you get to that stage, then it is known as leptin resistance. And once leptin resistance sets in, it is actually accompanied by other things, because the continuous production of leptin actually elicits the production of other hormones in the body, which are actually pro-inflammatory hormones. Okay, so pro-inflammatory hormones actually lead to production of leptin. Leptin causes the production of those pro-inflammatory hormones as well.
Okay. That's very useful, because that leads to my next question. To our research, and if I'm wrong, please let me know, but one of the primary causes of leptin resistance, one of them is inflammation. Okay, specifically inflammation caused by processed foods, stress, things like that. Mm-hmm. Is that accurate? And does inflammation actually contribute to leptin resistance? Can you shed some light on that?
Yes, I mean, processed foods like the additives in foods and the preservatives used actually produce in the body what are called cytokines. And cytokines are key for the inflammation. So cytokines actually brings about an increase in the release of leptin, which in turn produces more cytokines. So you have a situation where those processed foods actually raises the levels of cytokines in the body. Those cytokines actually provoke the production of more leptin than the body actually can use, and that just continues in a very, very vicious cycle, I can put it. So pro-inflammation is actually a prerequisite of leptin production. Leptin production actually brings about production of more inflammatory hormones, and all of that together brings us back to this whole problem of leptin resistance and the inability through inflammation for anybody to control their weight.
Okay, so from my understanding, inflammation basically causes a response in your immune system, right? So if you are basically inundated with chronic inflammation, your immune system is being taxed. Am I correct in that?
That is correct. That is correct. There is a lot of literature, a lot of studies that have been done showing that those what you call not very friendly foods. I don't want to call it junk foods, but not very friendly foods actually, causes inflammation through the production of those pro-inflammatory hormones, which actually makes the situation worse because it messes up everything. And basically what you're trying to do is to bring that back to where it was. Okay. And that takes time. Yeah.
Okay. From my understanding, there are certain foods like, say, avocados, tomatoes, berries, fatty fish, foods that naturally lower inflammation, including green tea, including chili peppers, and these are some of the ingredients that are found in tetragen. Now, Schill, who makes our ingredients, indicated that basically all of the ingredients, active ingredients, not melatonin, but the active ingredients in tetragen lower inflammation. Can you confirm that?
Right. Yes, I think work that has been done with those other ingredients, as you say, besides melatonin, those other ingredients have actually shown their ability to reduce inflammation. You talk of CQR 300, which is very, very, a lot of work has been done on that for its properties to actually reduce inflammation. But not only that, to act as a very, very good antioxidant. So you have a situation where CQR 300 is very good antioxidant, at the same time works towards reducing inflammation. The same thing can be said for diglomera, which is a very good anti-inflammatory as well, and inhibits the production of C-reactive protein, which is a marker of inflammation. So you have antioxidant as well as anti-inflammatory effects in some of those ingredients that are present in tetragen.
Okay. So basically what the tetragen ingredients are doing is they're reducing inflammation, which, correct me if I'm wrong, once that inflammation is brought down to a much lower level, the brain can properly detect leptin again and basically regulate weight properly again. Is that accurate?
That is a fair way to put it. The truth of the matter, and I think that is why most of these weight loss things don't work. The fact that we're looking at the wrong things. If leptin is not regulated, no matter how hard you try, besides I would say surgery, metabolically, if you are not able to get leptin to function the way it's supposed to function, there is no way that you will be able to control people putting on weight, even if they lose it. So if you can get a situation where you can actually get the leptin to work the way it's supposed to work, as these ingredients do, then you're just going around in a circle. You're not going to get any answers. Key is to get the leptin to be able to work the way it's supposed to work.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm going to go a little to a side here. So most weight loss supplements are formulated with stimulants, caffeine, ephedrine, things like that. Yeah. And for the most part, what they do is they artificially speed up your metabolism, and they may suppress appetite. But in the long term, why is that not the right strategy?
Well, John, it's not the right strategy because that's going to be short-lived. You need to get your body to go back to its natural state. And that natural state is for the leptin to produce the effects that it's supposed to produce, i.e., the leptin should be able to do what it's supposed to do in the brain. The brain sees the leptin and takes the appropriate measures. You're going to have people who they're going to go and do all this diets take up their metabolism and all of that. But that's what all that's going to do, take up somebody's metabolism without leptin control is just going to make them eat more. So in the long run, you're going to have a situation where you're going from one dietary product to another, to another, to another. The real problem is not being solved.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. Okay, so one of my, just got a couple more questions here. Let's say someone drinks green tea on top of taking tetragen, and from my understanding, green tea reduces inflammation naturally as well. Is that going to help speed up the process of reducing inflammation?
Right. I mean, if you're taking green tea with some other, I don't know what other supplements you're taking, that's fine. But green tea with tetragen is not going to bring, more, it's not going to have more of an effect than taking tetragen by itself. The reason is simple. Green tea, like all other things, they're very good antioxidants, but you're taking antioxidants on top of antioxidants. If you're taking green tea with tetragen, for example, because they're active ingredients in tetragen, that actually will have the same effect on the body's, oxidative stress mechanism, and they'll bring down the oxidative stress. So you probably wouldn't need to. Or if you're taking green tea and tetragen, I don't think you're going to have any extra benefits taking the green tea with tetragen.
Okay, well, let's say, how about like fatty fish with omega-3 fatty acids? Would that help? You did that since omega-3s are not included in tetragen.
Yeah, I mean, fatty fish, for example, has other health benefits. Health benefits which, are not strictly because of their antioxidant properties. It is part of recommended good eating to have, those micronutrients that can be derived from fatty fish. Okay, but I think, well, in my view, which is, I think it's the right view, is that fatty fish with your tetragen as part of a healthy diet, because that is important. It has to be, no matter how much tetragen you take, it will bring down your leptin levels, but it has to be part of a healthy diet.
Okay.
And I think that is what people need to know, that once you have your leptin under control, you have to put that into being part of a healthy diet.
Gotcha. Okay, I have one last question for you. Since we're talking about diet, what other dietary tips can you recommend, beyond, basically high protein, low carb? I mean, what specific diet tips would you recommend for a healthy diet that will keep people on the path to being healthy and thin? I mean, just in general.
In general, for me, I mean, I'll tell you what works for me, and I think it works for most people. Eat as many colors as you can in terms of fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
In that way, you assure that you've covered the whole spectrum.
Okay, so you're talking like carrots, radishes, lettuce, as many colors as possible is what you're saying.
Exactly. Eat as many colors as possible, and you can't go wrong.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate your time. Again, Dr. Oben, I know you are super busy. I know you're doing great work for COVID-19 over there in Cameroon. And thank you so much, and I appreciate your time. You have a great day, okay?
Thank you, John. Have a great day, too.
All right. Bye now.
Bye-bye.